Here we are at a hotly anticipated episode of the Friday Night Movie Podcast because we have with us the director of Cotton Candy Bubblegum, which is now available everywhere on demand. Apple, Amazon, probably Fandango. I don't know. Everywhere. Jay Pinder, who is a dear friend and a fellow Philadelphian. Jay, welcome to the show.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. You guys are my favorite people out there. First off, you know I'm rocking the swag. If you can see this.
The special limited edition Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl edition of the Friday Night Movie hat.
Yeah.
That's right. In the Kelly Green.
Kelly Green will only be printed in years that the Eagles win a Super Bowl.
That's right. So
you
probably
won't see one for another 50 years.
50?
No.
Oh. 30.
Probably 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah. They're
2
coming
years.
back.
And will you and Jay go together?
I mean,
with our dad.
That's where it is.
With our dad? Yeah.
Dad's going.
If dad's paying, sure, I'll bring Jay.
Jay.
I'll bring lots of people.
Listen, Los Angeles might be. I think we're getting a Super Bowl sometime soon. So come on out. Let's do this thing.
So now,
Amazing.
I want to go back to Bentonville 2025. Our movie, The Floaters, was premiering.
They say it was the best Bentonville.
What?
And
Yeah,
we were. I remember being at the filmmakers' breakfast or brunch, and usually, often, I would say I'm one of the friendliest guys in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And
not that day. Someone outshone you.
Someone outshone
There's
you.
this dude. No, I mean, there's no competition. The guy who immediately makes best friends with every filmmaker in the room, who people are already taking selfies with. He's sitting at their table.
True.
Is Jay Pinder. He is handing out some really cool. He's handing out bubble gum to everybody.
Cotton
candy
Jay,
bubble gum.
You had you had the best hook, which is that you're handing out delicious
gum
bubble
to
gum.
everyone.
What a way to make friends! I feel like I'm back at the schoolyard. People, I'm back at.
And so I want to start there with just your and we immediately become friends. I mean, we have gone to football games together. We've seen each other at other festivals. You have this unquenchable energy that makes people feel welcome. You made a movie for. I believe it's in the tens of thousands of dollars, correct? You made a terrific, hilarious movie. I mean, I just say it up front. This movie is a mix of Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Friday, as far as I'm concerned. But for these current times, and it's hilarious. So people need to see it. How much does that, energy translate to you as a director on set? Is that part of how you motivate the team, how you get people engaged? Because I'm ready to do whatever you ask me to do as soon as I meet you. I imagine, and you're getting people to work really hard.
Shai's ready to be in a buddy comedy with you.
Let's do it. That would be a very fun buddy comedy.
Listen,
you've got to bring the energy. At everything. And so the bubblegum thing seemed like such we've got the bubblegum t-shirts too. We're
Great
getting
shirt.
T-shirts for
Amazing
sure.
Shirt.
Bringing the hats. We're going to figure out some hats things. But we premiered the movie at South by Southwest a month or two before.
Congratulations.
By the way.
That's no small feat.
That's a big.
That's amazing.
That's
the interesting part is we didn't get in the first time we sent it in, but we sent in an assembly cut for 2024. I did not want to send it in. My producers were just send it. They accept unfinished things, and I was like, okay. But this thing is it's 2 hours, and it should not be 2 hours. So we didn't get in, but I do think that possibly helped get us in later when we finished the movie, because they possibly were like, oh, okay, we've seen where this was, and we see where this is. Let's get that in.
Look how talented these people are. They
they talked for half an hour. They're getting it. And so we had 3 screenings at South by. All of them were sold out, and on every single seat we put a piece of cotton candy bubblegum on every seat. And at the beginning of the screening, I said, listen, enjoy the movie, chew the bubblegum, please don't stick it under the seats. But there is at minute 7 or whatever, when he talks to the mom, that's when he starts chewing the gum. And so if you can hold off until then, pop the gum in your mouth then, and then you can kind of have this 3D, 4D experience with the movie and stuff like that. And so I just wanted to bring that energy there. And so then at every single in every single line at South by Southwest for like the big movies and stuff like that, like the big A-list stars, my producer Cole Dabney and I would, and like my girlfriend and his wife, Natalie and Abby, we would go around to all these people standing in line and just say, here is a piece of cotton candy bubble gum, and here's a card. Actually, I have them. I've got my little cotton candy.
I have that card.
This is Carter's.
That's the
pack.
pouch
the
that he
pack.
wears in the movie.
That's the fanny pack in the movie, and it's
you
just
had that
filled.
at Bentonville, didn't you? You had that.
I had that at Bentonville. I was carrying it everywhere, and then we were just handing out these cards everywhere at South by and Bentonville that like just had a little QR code for the movie, and then had our screening times, and so we would hand this out with the bubble gum and say, hey, we made a movie for $50,000. Come see our movie. We loved it. It's going to be a good time. And so that energy, to answer your question, was there during each screening, was there at Bentonville, because when I met you, I was like, hey, what's up, guys? You seem fun. Should we all talk film and stuff like that? Right? Have
now
some
we're on
bubble
vacation
gum.
together for 4 days.
We're on vacation. We're going to have a great time. It's a little hot and humid, but you know what? That's kind of fun, too. And then during this shooting, I don't think you can make this kind of movie if you yourself as a filmmaker don't have an insanely large amount of energy, because I was sleeping maybe 2 hours a night on the floor as I was downloading and copying footage. You just have to like bring it. We didn't have a cinematographer. We didn't have an assistant director. Cole Dabney, again, my producer, who's amazing. He was the AD. He was also shooting B-cam sometimes. He was like getting lunch. We didn't have catering. We had Uber Eats. And so he would just pass his phone around and be like, okay, we're getting Chipotle, we're getting Chipotle today, but like nobody get guac because we just can't afford it. Like, you know what I mean? Guac is extra. You know what I mean? So like you have to like bring that energy into like every single day of filming, because if you slump, everybody else slumps. And then the actors can feel the energy, the collective energy slump, and then they're not bringing performances. Things are going a lot slower. And when you're shooting 8 to 12 pages a day, you just cannot.
8 to 12 pages for the for people in the audience.
Say, like,
just so you know,
6 pages is a lot.
Is like insane. And
the amount of balance. I'm just like I just want to call something out here. What you listed. I just say like, in case people don't understand yet how just truly lovable and charming Jay is. He is so charming that if he were to tell you we can't get guac today, you would still
like, I hate guac. Whatever.
You would be like, I'm going to work the second half of the day even without guac on my burrito, because that's how much I love working with Jay Pinder. That's
okay. You mentioned the cast. Okay, Nick Darnell. Absolutely hilarious as Carter. Like, in some ways, like, again, like, kind of evoking a Chris Tucker of today's time, that energy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you have
sure.
Morgan Jay, who is an internet star, right?
Yes.
Right? He's the auto-tune, or what's his...
Well, one of his one of his names is, like, the auto-tune comedian, but he has, like, become so much even bigger than the internet. Although the funny part is both of them have now become this sort of internet famous thing, which is just helping propel them into the stratosphere. Morgan Jay has sold out tours all over the globe, 5,000 seat arenas, just sold out. It's insane. Like, he is known everywhere. It's crazy.
He is so, they are so funny together. And you have in Carter what I think is a great element of the movie. I mean, the movie is hilarious and like crazy stuff happens over the course of this day. But Carter is ultimately like a sensitive, anxious character. Yeah. There's a very cool mental health thread in the movie, which makes me think of Ferris Bueller's Day Off a lot.
Exactly.
And Morgan Jay is like the devil on his shoulder, just a chaos monster.
Yes.
You know, what made you? How'd you decide to balance those two characters? Put them together? Is that autobiographical? Is it influenced by the actors themselves?
Actually, a little from all of those columns. So interesting enough, when I originally wrote this, the character of Morgan was based off of a high school friend of mine who literally, like, he's literally like a genius or close to genius level, but like I guess has some like issues that we maybe didn't know about when we were growing up. And so, like, you know, I read in the paper recently, like, he had gone after a woman with an axe and stuff like that. Like, he's a lawyer, or at least he was a lawyer, and then he just went nuts. And so, but like, this guy was very arrogant and very, like, you know, like, I guess the wannabe alpha male, like back in the day when we were like growing up as kids, which we didn't know that was a thing. So I based him originally on
males
him.
when we were kids.
It's men. We were like boys, but we were trying to be men, right?
Yeah.
And so here comes Morgan J into the audition process. His character was not supposed to be funny. His character was supposed to be a great guy. Yeah. Until Morgan J shows up and just has us bawling in the audition. We just did like an open casting call. We saw
when you have over 5 million followers, you still have to audition.
Well, he didn't have 5 million followers at the time. So we shot this movie in 2023 as the writers or as the actor strike was happening. And so he maybe had 400,000.
Holy shit.
I mean, that's still a lot.
No, but I just mean that's a huge difference between then and now.
That's a huge difference. Oh, I have stories
so
because
you broke him is what you're saying.
we believed in him for sure. Right. We saw the talent. This guy is like, he's trained. He's like classically trained actor. We threw him a couple things in the audition.
Really good.
He's so good. Well, that night, my producer hits me up. He's like, dude, you have to look up Morgan J right now. And I open up like TikTok and I was like, yo, this dude. Okay, I'm rewriting the part. I'm completely rewriting the part. I'm adding the guitar in because we could. Because
oh my god, the guitar stuff is so funny.
It's so funny. He brings it naturally. So I wrote the guitar part, but I was like, hey, listen, Morgan. Like, once he got the part, we were like, it's you. You're hilarious. You bring something to this. I think is going to completely elevate this to another level. I'm going to write some songs for you in there, but please, you're better than me. I'm just putting stuff in so that like the page count works out. Do whatever you want, but this is the subject matter that has to be. And he just did, and it is just funny. So, yeah, he elevated it. And then Nick, boy, it was... So when you're for all the filmmakers out there, when you're doing auditions, you're going to see like 5,000 people's tapes, right? Most of them are just not right. 99% of them are not right. And then you
not necessarily not good. They're just not right. Like that's
they're just not right.
Thing.
Maybe they're too
value
old.
The auditions. It's just they're not always the right person.
Yeah, they're not always the right person. This is the crazy part is, this is how you know there's so many amazing actors out there, because you'll watch some of these tapes and you're like, dang, like I'm gonna save you for something else because they're so good. It came down to the lead role came down to Nick and this other guy who was also from Philly, and we just for days we were like, we don't know which one. But I think in my heart, I kind of knew it was always Nick, and I'm so happy we picked Nick because Nick just like embodies everything that Carter was, at least at the time, right? We would have to pick him up from his apartment every morning. Like he was just like, working like little jobs here and there. And then since then, he has just like grown and matured into this like fantastic man. He's got his own internet following now. He's got the Grinch thing that's going on. It's just been like insane the past 3 years at how much he, Morgan, and the rest of the cast, including don't sleep on Sophia Sherman. She's also.
Hold on, we're gonna get.
We're gonna get there. I want
to get to the women of this movie, because the women in this movie, and I think the parts that you wrote, they're strong, but they're also hilarious, and there's a lot of physical comedy. And so both is it Jada Page and Sophia Renee Sherman. Sophia Renee Sherman.
Sophia Renee, yeah.
They're hilarious as sort of quasi love interests, sort of. But I just want to shout out to people. There is a scene with Sophia Renee Sherman where her accent. I tell this to you every time I see you. Where her accent changes multiple times, and Morgan J calls it out, and I laugh so hard I'm crying every time. Tell us about casting them. Tell us about working with them, and also getting them, because that's, again, you got to commit to do those two parts.
Oh yeah. Well, let me start with Sophia, because she's an insanely fun, awesome actress. She originally went in for the role that Jada ended up getting, but we were sitting there and we were just like, we want to work with her, and we had this other part, and I was like, I don't know if she's gonna. I was like, are actors okay if like they don't get one part, but then like you offer them another?
That happened in our movie, because
really?
You're just like not exactly right for this, but I don't want to sleep on the chance to work with this person. We got to see where, and I think,
or you have two great people, and you're like, okay, we got to pick one, but let's get that other one in here.
Look, I don't know if you like that happens to like Tom Hanks.
You're like, no, it doesn't happen.
I got something else for you.
You're not doing that with like. That's not exactly. That's not happening to Tom Hanks. But I think for people that are strictly coming in off of auditions, you know, I think their preference is to come and work. And there's so many funny stories like that of movies.
I went out for this right, and I got the other role. You know.
So she auditions.
She auditions. We end up going with Jada for the lead role there, but she came to the place. So we were like, okay, let's put her in this other role. Let's let her have some fun there. And again, she's an amazing actress because we had a table read, and not everybody could come to the table read. Like we had a UTA set it up, and it was really fun. And so she just played a couple other parts at the table read, and I was like, dang, she's like really talented. Like she's insanely talented.
That's a great audition.
It's a great, right? And then so we give her the part, and I go to her. I was like, "Listen, I want you to do a different accent every single like take and every single."
What made you
make it like
think of
slightly
that?
different? Because then, like when Morgan calls you out, then just lose the accent completely. And when you see the scene, like there are now, I created gifs. So there's like gif where she's like, "I'm not from New Jersey." Like I'm hoping that gets out there. But like she just like went nuts, had a good time, and she was down for everything, and just a great person to have on set. And then Jada Page. So the reason why we went with Jada over Sophia and a bunch of other actresses that were also fantastic. Like, so in the audition process, at least the way that we did it, I used to work in like casting as an editor and stuff like that back in the day. And so I brought that kind of energy here where 1,000 people or 5,000 people submit for a role, right? And they submit like their headshots. You then whittle that down to like another 1,000 people. They all submit a tape where you say, hey, here are lines, do these lines. We're going to watch your tape. And you know within the first like 10, 20, 30 seconds if they're going to be close enough to the part that you can then work with them. You bring them in one more time. This is all online at this point. This used to be back in the day. They would come into a casting room, but now it's all online. So for the third round, you give them some direction. They come in. You're doing this all on Zoom. You talk. Then you bring them in for a chemistry read. So at this point, we had already cast Nick. And so we brought Nick in, and then we brought all the love interests in, and basically you get them in a room together and they're doing a couple scenes. And so Nick and Jada are doing this scene together. And before they even start doing the scene, I'm just like, there's electricity here.
Something is happening.
You can feel it in the room. I'm like, these two are adorable. And like, they're just in between takes. They're just like, blah, blah, blah. But you can kind of see, I'm sure like you guys can see you're all filmmakers. Like, and lo and behold, we give her the part. I was like, it's her. We had a lot of debate going back and forth between me and the producer, like if it was going to be her or Sophia or this other girl. And I was like, no. It's 100% her. I can see it. There's something there. Fast forward to 8 months later, maybe a year. They're now engaged to be married.
Wow.
We're going to the wedding in Mexico.
No.
Yes.
So not only you're an excellent filmmaker, you're a matchmaker?
What?
Matchmaking.
Aaron's the lead, Jay.
Right?
Oh my god!
So if you know anybody that
episode, and now you're telling us this epic love story.
At least we now know what the clip is going to be when we put it out.
100%. I have. They by the way, they show up to South by Southwest with matching outfits and pink outfits and stuff like that. They are the most adorable people. They do these like little dances and stuff on their TikToks and whatnot. I was like, you guys were meant to be together. Like, I don't know if you guys believe in fate or any of that kind of stuff, but like when things work out in such a way, you're like, there's no way that couldn't work out. Like, it's almost like sometimes our lives are movies where you're like, yeah, that makes so much sense. How could that not happen?
Well, had you cast Sophia in that role, maybe they never would have met.
Exactly. And then
so like a lot of things had to like a lot of dominoes had to come into place. And if you were worried about my like electricity instincts spot on, clearly you've been, confirmed that like you've got great chemistry instincts. That's awesome, man. That's so cool.
I guess what I'm trying to say is if you have any friends out there that need to find the love of their life, I'm hooking people up.
I will audition for your next movie.
Work with this man.
It's a new dating app called Auditioning.
I want to keep going through. I mean, everyone in the movie is so funny. I could like go on with everybody. There's one guy I want to talk to because he hung out with he not only hung out with us. Boondock.
Love him.
Who has a hilarious scene that again defies expectations because he plays like a would-be or what you perceive to be like a gang member in a rough neighborhood in the scene, and he's not all he. I'm not going to give it away, but he's not what he appears to be. And then we had a chance to hang out with real Boondock, and I'm pretty sure Boondock also took Becky and Lily to see J-Lo.
I have to say that.
I forgot about that.
Cole and Boone were so nice. Like, and this is again an extension of how wonderful you are. I'm not surprised that you surround yourself with such wonderful people, but you were like, "Oh, I think you put us in touch because J-Lo was going to be in Tenerife, and Becky was here with me." And you were like, "Oh, he's producing her tour, and so, working with her, I'm sure that they, they can hook you up or something." And I was like, "Okay." People say those are the things that people say
but they
all the time.
Very Hollywood.
Very Hollywood. Very, like LA. Like, yeah, I'll get you a ticket, and you're like, "Okay, whatever."
And then, like right before, they're like, "Oh, my friend just left that job.
Yeah,
so I can't get you a ticket.
I can't get you a
Yeah,
ticket
right.
now. Yeah, like they just left that agency. They just left that whatever. And so
that festival,
right? But got us VIP. We were so close to J-Lo.
We were so close. It was amazing.
Like, it was amazing.
Right
the
there.
show
so
was
close
amazing.
that you de-aged a couple of years.
Yes, I went back in time.
Wow.
And just the nicest
say
nicest
that she
people.
is an alien beamed down from the heavens because nobody looks as good as that woman. That's
insane.
Obviously,
anyways, just did not need to extend themselves that way.
They
And
did. They got
just-
us
they were
into that, like,
they were
right
lovely and lovely
front-
people.
front of that show.
Also, we hung out with Boone and at Bentonville, just like the nicest dude. Such
He's so
positive
nice.
energy.
So where does
And-
Boone? Where did you meet Boone?
So Boone is actually Cole's elementary school best friend. Like they've known each other
that
that long.
does track though. Now that
Yeah.
I'm putting the pieces
they're-
together.
They're both from Texas, Austin, Texas
Right,
area.
Austin,
And
yeah.
so Boone, I met Boone years ago. So Cole and I used to be roommates, by the way. We met on Craigslist back when Craigslist had the cool section, but they don't have that anymore. Anyway, so we met on Craigslist, and I was like, we just need one more roommate in this house of 12 people in the middle of a Hasidic Jewish neighborhood in Hollywood, right?
I love it.
They
Love
loved
it.
us for sure. I mean, they had us like answer the phone sometimes on Saturdays, but they definitely
Oh my
did not.
God, that's adorable.
Well, we had to show some good positive energy there because we would throw these parties and they would like not be about it. Like there were some crazy parties. We only lasted a year there, but we needed one more roommate. Cole shows up to the door and I was like, "Hey, bro, I'm a filmmaker. Are you a filmmaker?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Cool, let's make movies and videos and stuff like that." So we ended up doing all the kind of stuff. We were both production assistants on Top Chef, Jess Desserts, and so we ended up making a bunch of music videos.
Wait, is that Gail? Was Gail? That was the one that Gail was like the lead of?
Was that the one that Gail was? Oh my gosh,
I don't know
it was so
because
long ago.
Gail is a Jewish girl from Montreal who went to McGill, the school that Lily and I went to. So we've never met her, but we feel connected to Gail.
I don't know. I mean, but I don't watch that. I never.
I remember
watched
it was
that.
delicious. We got to eat all the leftover desserts.
Oh wow!
And so now I have type 2 diabetes. So, anyways. no, but AYC scores good. But no, so Boone was his friend, and he brought him to a couple of our shoots and stuff like that. And Boone works for American Airlines, I think, or United, I forget.
Yep, does.
And so he can fly anywhere for free.
Yep.
And so he's just like, "Hey man, just let me know when. I want to like do stuff, help you guys out. I'll come in and fly in, and I can just fly out. It's like no big deal." And so he would fly in and just like PA, go pick up stuff for us, like whatever. He would just like be the man. And so we're sitting there. We've got the movie mostly edited at this point, and there's a scene between the Dave's Hot Chicken scene and what happened at the house, and we're just like, something's missing here. And then I guess Boone had just been like, "Yo, I've got this idea for like a blood being in the movie that Carter runs into," and he pitches this idea, and I just start cracking up, and I was like, so on set, by the way, for a comedy, this is my first movie ever, first feature film that I've made, comedy. I told all the actors, I said, "I'm not the funniest person in the room." I was like, "I cast you guys because you're funny, you're fun to be around. We've got the script. We're going to do the script, but I want you to come with options. I want you to come with extra jokes. I want you to, because in the editing room, I want to sit there and find the funniest thing and then just go with the funniest thing." And so an extension of that was Boone thinking, I guess at some point he was like, yo, this would be kind of funny. And so he pitches this idea, and I'm just like cracking up. I was like, let's do it. So he flies out, we film the scene, and we just put it in. And it just cracks me up every single time because it took like maybe an hour or two. It was probably our fastest shoot, but it was just like so much fun, and it works.
It's such a great beat in the movie.
Yeah.
It's a great beat.
Like the two kind of gums that are like kind of there. He's got the red gum. He's got the blue gum. It's kind of fun. You see like this kind of like very contrasty thing where it's Carter, this very panicked like kid, and he's just like this cool like gangster. And, you know, also just a quick aside when I was growing up, Black people were represented in like one way, right? They're gangsters and that's it. And I was always like, but that's not everything, right? Like there are a lot of different people out there, and I never liked the way that like the media portrayed us when I was growing up in the 90s and the 80s and the early 2000s, stuff like that. Nowadays, we don't have so much of that, thank God. We are very dynamic people, just like all people are very dynamic. And so I was really happy with this scene because you show that you have Carter, this suburban raised, very afraid, very panicked, very, kid, and then you have a gangster, and you get to see them interact, and it gives contrast to like what everybody like assumes that like Black people have to be, right? And so it almost like plays in a positive way, even in that, right? And then it actually ends up being that Boone, who like Carter's afraid of, isn't actually like trying to be like scary. He just like wants to chew some bubble gum, and so it's just like a fun comedic thing where like you think one thing is one thing, and then it ends up not being that thing. So.
But to me, that's also indicative. This movie is again, it's like a roller coaster ride of hilarious stuff. But there's a lot of depth
and heart. There's a lot of heart.
One of the deep parts is the way you tackle anxiety, mental health. What made you decide to make that at the core of this character? And it feels like that. It felt so relevant to now. To what kids are dealing with now, even though, it existed when we were kids too.
Which I didn't know it existed when we were kids. I didn't know what the feeling was. I honestly didn't even know what anxiety was, or that I was even like suffering from anxiety until probably like 5 years, maybe 7 years ago, right? It hadn't really been a thing that we talked about, not in men for sure, and definitely not Black men. We were not allowed to talk about our feelings. My mom was great. She was like, listen, feel your stuff, whatever like that. But my dad is still, to this day, like he's an old school, born in the 50s kind of guy where he's and we're trying to get a hug out of there really quick, right? So we're working on him a little bit like that. But anxiety, God, you can't get away from it. When I started researching for this movie, because I wanted to make a coming-of-age comedy where every character in the movie, not only the Gen Z young guy star in the movie, but also the mom is coming of age, like her new husband to be is coming of age, the boss is coming of age, the rapper is coming of age. Everyone's trying to like come of age in their own kind of sense. I did a bunch of my research was actually downloading TikTok and just learning what the kids and like the kids, but like learning what Gen Zers were like experiencing and stuff like that. And anxiety is everywhere. And it's not even necessarily that people are talking about the anxiety, but you can see it. You can see it on the app. You can see it in the TV shows. You can see it when you talk to people. And that's when I really kind of like was like, oh my God, these are the feelings that I've been having for years. I think I have some pretty bad anxiety. I was like, oh my God. I was like, so I was like, whatever I do on the surface level of this, I think I do need to like give the character of Carter this sort of like underlying thing that he needs to like battle against, because there's always like the MacGuffin, there's always the thing that they have to do on the surface to get the job, whatever like that. But the thing underneath it needs to feel real. It needs to feel like something relatable that he needs to overcome. That and he hasn't necessarily solved his anxiety at the end of the movie, just like we're never going to solve our anxiety. But he learns to deal with it. He learns to overcome these obstacles, and by doing
he levels up.
He levels up, right? He levels up, and he gets like both of those things done, kind of like by accomplishing going through the movie and stuff like that.
Well, it also keeps his character grounded in an ever chaotic story.
Yeah.
So, and when you have that thread, that it keeps the audiences really emotionally connected to your main character. So it's very it resonates, you know.
Now, one of the things that's most fun to do with you is to talk about all movies in general. So I've prepared, as a surprise for you, the signature game of the Friday Night Movie podcast.
We haven't played this in so long.
I know. This is Buy, Rent, Meh. It's called Buy, Rent, Meh. And I'm going to give you 3 things according to categories. You'll get it in a second. And you have to assign each movie a value.
Okay.
Of buy, rent, or meh. It's like another game that you might have played. All right, a similar idea, but with movie.
Another game.
Okay, so
obviously buy because you would spend money on it.
Like
Rent
it's
in
a
the video
VHS
store.
reference.
Right.
Rent is
Rent.
and then
You
meh.
spend some money on it, but you don't
Meh
need to
can
own
mean
it.
whatever you want it to mean. You can define the meh in your answer.
Got it, okay.
So
Doesn't mean
so
like you hate the movie.
movies that take place. So we're going to do a few in the theme of movies that take place in one day, because this is a movie that takes place in one day, and you must have. So in this category, this is sort of just classic coming of age movies that take place in one day. Buy, Rent, or Meh, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Friday, and Dazed and Confused.
Oh my God! Buy all of those.
Yeah,
I'm buying
that's
all
how
of
I
those.
play.
That's how Lily plays.
Lily
That's
breaks
how
it.
Lily plays. But if you were forced to rank
Get a
these,
ranking.
I mean,
I
if you
have
really
to
don't
choose-
want
oh.
to.
Yeah.
Oh
I
God!
always break the
right,
rules and I
right.
buy everything.
Lily always buys everything.
Oh.
But so Becky
You just
Becky
put it
has
aside.
no problem just cutting one.
Okay, we gotta.
Oh, and he's
that's-
changed
oh,
hats.
okay.
I love it. He has switched hats. He has his Camp
Hold on,
David
wait,
hat
let's-
on now.
We gotta. Okay, we're gonna put our thinking cap on here. Let's show the logo. Okay, I think we're gonna buy Friday because it has so many good one-liners. And
Such a
there was
classic.
definitely some inspiration from that movie when I wrote Cotton Candy Bubblegum for sure. Actually, that and Ferris Bueller's Day Off for sure. But you can't. I mean, it's OG Chris Tucker. You know what I mean? Like you just can't get away with it. Apparently, they're doing another one. I saw in the trades yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, last Friday.
I'm
hope it's-
literally like typing like, please cast Nick Darnell as like his son. I'm definitely gonna rent Ferris Bueller's Day Off because I've probably seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off almost as many times as I've seen Friday. Back when before streaming, Ferris Bueller's Day Off would just kept popping up on TV, and no matter when it was on TV or where it was in the movie, you're watching that movie.
100%.
Yeah, and then wait, oh my gosh, what was the
Dazed
last
and
one?
Confused.
Dazed and Confused.
Oh, Dazed and Confused is so good too. I'm gonna say, man, just because like I've only seen it maybe like once or twice when I was growing up, and I know it's so good, but like it just doesn't hold a place in my heart as the same. But it is a solid movie.
I kind of feel the same way. I mean, I kind of feel the same way about Dazed and Confused. I mean, love Linklater, huge influence, someone that I love. But that movie, I think maybe because it doesn't really take place in our time. Some people, it like really spoke to them in our generation. For me, there were other movies from that era of that style that I liked a lot more. Okay, now this is the Bruce Willis movies take. Oh, sorry. You know what? This is actually just kidding. This has to go in the next subject. All right, now we're gonna go for like a grab bag of. Sorry, we're gonna do a Bruce Willis buddy comedy thing.
Okay.
But just stay tuned for that. Sorry, I read my notes wrong. Now this is just 3 movies that take place ostensibly in one location, not entirely in one location, but it is a real grab bag here. Okay. Clerks, Alfred Hitchcock's Rope, which is a bit of a deep cut, but I love that movie.
For sure.
And Airplane.
Obviously, we're going Airplane with the buy.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
For me, it would be Clerks. For me, Clerks is
That's
like
great. That was like I like how decisive that was. Like
100%,
you're playing for the
because
buy. Okay.
I'm hoping that the guys that remade the latest. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on it.
Naked Gun?
Naked Gun. I'm hoping they do a remake of Airplane.
okay, yeah. Those guys.
Airplane was one of the VHSs that like we had growing up as kids, and we would just spin that thing on repeat. Like it was just insane. Like we could just do all the lines, stuff like that. I could probably do most of the movie now, not necessarily the whole movie, but most of the movie
I
now.
love that.
Just so funny. It's wacky in a way that you just like you're in, and you're just down for to clown.
I tried to make my daughter watch that with me, and she just looked at me and was like, "This is one of those movies that it was like the things you were allowed to do were it's because it was a different time, right, Dad? And I'm like, yeah,
different time. You can't get away with it now.
It was a very different time.
Rope. Okay, don't get mad at me. I haven't seen Rope.
Oh, okay. Rope's cool. It's made to look like it was shot in one shot. It all takes place in one room.
It's pretty wild for 1948. Like, it's an old movie, but also its subject matter is like really insane.
Well, it's based on Leopold and Loeb. It's based on the perfect these two guys do the perfect murder, and the cop is interrogating them, trying to figure out if they did it, and it's all in one. It's like almost like a play stage play.
They murder the guy and then have like a dinner party.
Yeah. So
it's like,
and they invite. I believe they invite the cop. Anyway.
They invite the guy's like girlfriend who they. It's like it's
really twisted, like Hitchcock. Right, ahead of its time.
I feel bad because I actually have the entire Hitchcock collection in my living room on DVD.
Well, now you have homework. You have homework.
I haven't seen a bunch of his. I've been putting it off because I'm like, oh, one day I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch it when it get like when this one goes to an Alamo, and like I'm not going to watch The Birds on my phone. I've never seen.
Yeah, no, I can't do that now.
Okay.
And then what was the third one?
Clerks.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, Clerks is classic for sure. Clerks is a classic movie. That's a rent for sure. They like started the indie movement thing, kind of. You know what I mean?
I mean, the '90s one is definitely like
they're at the forefront of the wave of like '90s indie, you know, golden era.
Grunge.
They're really at the forefront of that. Yeah, for sure.
Low budget indie.
Now the people are now the folks that
not
are making
A24 indie. Low budget indie.
I think your movie fits into this. I think this incredible movie Downbeat we saw at South by this year about Street Drummer.
Oh, that was great.
It's called the way Danny Madden, the director, calls it. He calls it the broke wave. And I think you all. I think you all are doing. And part of why I love that movie so much is that you all are making movies in that way that I haven't felt like people have made movies since
in a long time.
The early Kevin Smith, right? Like the way that was just like, I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna make it with the people I have, and it's gonna be good, And so,
yeah. I mean, listen, we made it just to let your audience know. So my co-producer Natalie, she's actually now the president of JLo's company. She just moved up on that thing, so amazing!
Congratulations!
She's Cole's wife. She gave me some advice, and she was like, "Listen, you guys are making shorts, and these shorts are great, fantastic. But unless they win a big award at South by or like Con or something like that, or unless it's like something completely crazy, no one's going to really take you seriously in this town until you have a feature film under your belt. And it doesn't even have to be good." And so I was like, you know what? Done. We're just going to make a feature film. So I just grabbed 2 0% APR credit cards, and I was like, let's go make Cotton Candy Bubble.
That's literally how Kevin Smith made Clerks.
Exactly. 0% APR credit cards. You got to do it. And I was like, I have good credit, so let's just do that. I did the math, and I was like, I can afford an extra $300 to $500 a month. That way I don't have to actually have $50,000 in my bank to spend on a movie. I just have to be able to pay the monthly fee. And so I don't suggest everybody go out and do this. You have to know what your level of risk financially is. But I was like, I can afford $500 a month. I'm just not going to go out. I'm going to eat a little bit more ramen. We're just not going to random concerts and stuff like that. And through that, I was able to just finance this movie. And it was great. And then so post-production came along. This great guy that Cole brought in called Michael. He was able to help us out with post-production. So then we were able to get a real colorist, a real sound editor to come in. We were able to pay for music because, gosh, we have a lot of cool music in this movie, but that costs money too. So we were just able to do it. You just have to do it. That's the whole thing.
All right, now we're going to move to the next category. Oh wait, is there a movie that takes place in one day that we're missing that is influential for you, or that
Superbad?
Oh, Superbad.
Oh, that's coming. It's on the list.
Oh, that's coming.
That's going to come in the next one. Okay, so all right, so now we're going to talk buddy comedies. I created a whole category just for Bruce Willis. With The Last Boy Scout.
Just for Bruce Willis.
So good.
Die Hard 3 is really the buddy comedy of the Die Hards.
Yes.
And then the much maligned Cop Out that's the one with Tracy Morgan?
Yes, it is.
That I think is directed by Kevin Smith.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
It is directed by Kevin Smith. Jeez.
Yeah, it's
I remember it.
It's sort of a famous disaster. Kevin Smith directed it. Bruce Willis, and him butt heads the whole time. Bruce Willis hated Tracy Morgan, but Anyway, so I gave you a free Met if you want it, unless you'd come in and be like, that movie's actually genius.
That movie's amazing.
Okay, so The Last Boy Scout, Die Hard 3, and Cop Out.
Listen, we're going with Die Hard 3. Again, another one that we grew up on. Classic. Come on, Samuel L. Jackson bringing in that. The action's great. We're doing it. We're doing a connection to the first Die Hard with the brother. It's hands down. That's a buy for sure. I'm sure my dad owns this movie, 100%. We're putting Cop Out in the Met, unfortunately. That's
so weird. Okay.
It's so weird. And then I forgot what the second one was.
The Last Boy Scout, Damon Wayans.
The Last Boy Scout. No, that's a buy. That's for sure a buy. It's a solid movie. That's a solid buddy comedy movie. And it's Bruce Willis. I think that it's Bruce Willis at his at a good height in his career. I'm a big Bruce Willis fan, by the way.
It's like when Fifth Element.
He was action star, but still comedy. He was still
comedy.
Fifth
Element is
my favorite.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Now that these are
Buttercup. Also, just to say, it was directed by Tony Scott, which is.
Yeah. It's nice. It's a good act. It's a great action.
Yeah.
I mean, he directed Top Gun.
I'm just saying it's not nothing.
All right, so now buddy comedies where one friend in particular is a bad influence. We have Wedding Crashers, I Love You Man, and Bad Boys.
That's a toughie. Dang. Just because of the comedy, I've got to go Wedding Crashers as the buy. Oh, no, but you've got Willie, Big Willie style. Oh, it's so close.
I love that that's your reference.
But also we got
your age.
We got to reference.
Tell them you're 40 without telling them you're 40.
Big Willie style.
I mean, and I Love You Man is a big movie for us. Shout out to our cousin Shelly, a big fan of, and our Uncle Mario because of the Hank Mardukas joke. Hank Mardukas, my best friend, Hank Mardukas.
I got to switch it. I'm sorry. I got to switch it back. I got to put the Eagles hat on for this.
Okay.
I'm going Bad Boys.
This is from the parking lot.
I'm going back
at the Charger Stadium.
Yes, sir.
SoFi Stadium.
Great hat. I love this hat. Thank you for this one shot. You swag me out all the time. No, I got to switch it. I got to go with the buy for Bad Boys because it's got Big Willie style in it. He's from Philly, West Philadelphia, where I was also born and raised. And so we're going to. Where I spent most of my days on that playground. I did used to play ball on that playground. I was terrible at basketball. I got punched in the mouth a few times or elbowed in the mouth because I was hacked. But literally, I used to play ball on that playground. We're gonna rent. Oh my god, blanked on the second movie again.
Wedding Crashers, I Love You Man.
Wedding Crashers, we're going second because that's the classic frat pack movie. Like that got the whole thing started.
Mm-hmm. Right. And Bradley Cooper, that's like one of his first I ever saw him in it.
Cooper.
That's the thing that people first saw him in, where he played a villain.
Like he plays like the villain, like the stuck-up boyfriend.
I forgot all. You're right. That's classic Bradley Cooper. Oh my gosh, how far we've come.
Isn't it? I'm not crazy, Right?
No, I think you're right. It is him. Yeah, I think that's one of his first roles. Yeah, and then the third one, obviously the. Yeah, we're gonna go.
Sack Lodge in that movie.
2000s, man. It was such a crazy era of movies.
You just get the guys together and write Wedding Crashers, and you're just having a great time.
I mean, honestly.
Okay, third category. I feel like this is just classic buddy movies: The Hangover, Wayne's World, Superbad. Let's save Superbad for the end.
We're gonna go with Superbad. Because I just graduated college around that time as our buy.
Okay.
Love that movie. Come on, it's so good. The one dayer, him hanging out with Seth Rogen and the Cobbs, like every single actor in that movie is just. Come on, the set had just been wild.
Yeah, the talent in that movie is nuts.
The writing talent, the directing talent, the acting talent, unbelievable. Movies again, the other two.
Hangover and Wayne's World.
Hangover obviously is going to be a buy. The original Hangover, the first Hangover.
The first one.
We don't count the second and the third and the fourth.
Hilarious, another Bradley Cooper. That was like a revolutionary movie in its own style, in that sort of telling kind of a thing. Very relatable. Who hasn't been to Vegas and had a wild ride? And then, I don't know why I keep forgetting.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's
Maybe because you were too young.
Maybe
because
I was
you're
too
younger
young
than
for
us.
Wayne's World, so I've got to go with the bet only because I was so insanely young, and I've seen most of that. I've seen that movie once when I was younger, and I've seen most of that movie through clips on YouTube. And so, yes, that movie's funny and it's great. It just wasn't like the movie
It is
that
of
like.
its time, though.
See,
Yes,
whereas
it's
for
of
me,
its
it's
time.
like
Yeah.
exactly formative. Like there's
Right.
something about that era where like Wayne Campbell was the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah.
To me.
I will say the
Um,
scene where they are doing the whole
Bohemian.
brand thing scene
Oh, the brand. Oh.
Oh,
has me bawling every time. Where they just you keep cutting back to the
Yeah.
shot, and they just have more like like capitalism going.
yeah. You haven't
It's
had
hilarious.
It's new print. It's yeah, and yeah. That's there's even the Grey Poupon scene in that movie. It's like there's so many funny. There's so many funny moments. All right. Any other big recommendations for us? Our big
For what-
recommendation for
yeah.
today is everyone should go see Cotton Candy Bubblegum. Go
But do you
buy
have-
it. Go
yeah.
buy it on Amazon or iTunes or Fandango or Vudu or Movies Anywhere, any of those places. And they can follow you at I Am Just in Your Mind, right?
Well,
That's your-
Instagram, yes. I am Justin, your I_am_ Justin your mind. Because I was never here, I'm just in your mind. I just disappear.
And do you have any recommendations?
The Other Guys, do not sleep on that movie. It's like
Oh, with
early 2020s.
that's Adam
Will
McKay,
Ferrell.
right? That's Will
Yeah.
Ferrell and
That's Adam
Right.
McKay, another film guy.
And if you look at the end of that movie, he kind of previews like the little bit at the end of the movie. He previews his style for The Big Short and Vice and all of that. His kind of like edgy, subversive stuff happens
Yeah.
at the end of The Other Guys, which
It
for the
does.
most part is a silly comedy, but it's a funny one.
It's silly, but it's smart silly, and that's what I love about it so much. I can watch that movie all day, every day. They just look like they were having a ball making it. There's some really fun stylized things that happen where they're in the bar and stuff like that, and you're panning the camera across, but everybody's frozen, but like they're just doing all sorts of hijinks. I won't spoil anything for anybody that hasn't seen it. But it's Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell just having a ball and having a great
Maybe
time.
we want to go do a rewatch tonight.
The
Like a
also
good
one of
rewatch.
the greatest
Yeah.
recurring jokes in that movie is Mark Wahlberg's character's disbelief that Will Ferrell's character is married to Eva
To
Mendes.
Eva Mendes.
It
yeah.
is one of the
That's one of
funniest
the best
things
scenes.
I've ever
I think it's
seen.
the best scene. Yeah.
Gator don't play. Gator don't play. Oh my god, it's so much fun. But yeah, definitely go check that out. It's such a fun movie, buddy cop. Like they're just having a great time. I love it. It has inspired me. I'm in the middle of writing something right now that is very similar in taste.
I do believe that if you made the Ferris Bueller Meets Friday, I think that if I were a big studio and was going to give somebody millions of dollars to make a movie, I would give you whatever the heir to the next 48 hours is going to be.
Ooh.
That like that's what I would be like, you know, who's got to direct whatever the new version of 48 Hours is? Jay Pinder. That's who I
Heck
would.
yeah.
That's who I would.
Let's
give
get
it to.
Nick Darnell and Maury J to start in again. Let's
Oh my
run it.
god, yeah. Just you can keep. I mean, you just keep doing. You know, do a remake. You know, or not a remake. Do a new take on Tommy Boy too while you're at it.
Yes.
Just-
Please,
It's
yes.
one of my favorite movies.
All right, Jay
Oh, that's
Pinder,
a classic.
a wonderful guy, a dear friend, an amazing filmmaker. We're so glad that we got to help talk about the movie and tell. I mean, we've been talking about it all year, but now people can see it, and people should go see it. This movie's hilarious. Cotton Candy Bubblegum. Jay Pinder, thank you for being here.
Thank you guys. Guy, Lily, Becky, you guys are the best. Peace and love. Go watch it.
Thank you for listening to Friday Night Movie, the sibling rivalry and pop culture podcast. Join the Friday Night Movie family by following @FryNightMovie on all of the socials and visiting our website, FryNightMovie.com. Our theme song is by What Does It Eat? And make sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.